If you struggle with under eye bags, and trust me, it is a real challenge. It is a challenge. Well, you're in luck because this video is for you. Today, I'm gonna show you how to do an easy, fresh, 10-minute everyday makeup look using inexpensive drugstore products. And we're about to start that right now. Let's tackle under eye puffiness first, because I know it is a source of insecurity for a lot of people, and it's actually a very difficult thing to combat. It's hard to camouflage it with makeup because you can't really camouflage texture. You know, when something is puffy, we can do a lot of our highlighting and contouring tricks, but at the end of the day, the puffiness is still gonna be there. And it's also really hard to tackle it with treatment products because there's a lot going on with puffiness, and it's not a one solution thing where you can just use an eye cream and it's gonna be gone. You know, it just doesn't work like that. So I discovered a product that is a temporary fix, but it is an incredible tool if you struggle with puffiness. So this is the Peter Thomas Roth Instant Firm Eye. It's a temporary eye tightener. So the way that this product works is it has a blend of 3 skin tightening silicates. So it basically creates this invisible film, this clear film on your skin that completely smooths out the eye area. So if you have puffiness, that puffiness gets pushed down and held down. It's almost like a bra for your under eyes, but the opposite way. It doesn't like lift up, it flattens out. I think a lot of people think that you put this on and it's a miracle product and your puffiness is gone forever and it's a treatment. It's not. This is like an aesthetic product or a makeup product that's gonna give you a solution to something quickly, but it's not going to last forever. This will last you 6 hours. So if you're using it, you have to plan accordingly. You know, you wanna put this right before going to an event, for example, or if you're wearing it during the day, you have to know that after 6 hours, the puffiness is going to come back. But regardless of that, it does an amazing job in those 6 hours to really help you feel so much more confident. Everyone that I put this on is completely mind blown by this product. And I'm gonna do a whole video on just this product alone, but I do wanna show it to you in this video because if you have a lot of puffiness and you want a quick everyday makeup look, this is going to give you the most impactful effect out of anything else. Even though it's not going to be a long-term thing, you're still gonna get 6 hours of like flawless under eyes without puffiness, which I think is pretty awesome. It really sounds like this is sponsored, but I'm telling you it is not. This is not sponsored at all. Okay, this video is not sponsored at all. I just can't believe how much I love this thing. This is life-changing. And this product line also has some other really amazing, super cool products for more mature skin. So I'm gonna talk about it more because I feel like I found like gold. I just really, really love it. I've been using it all the time. All right, now that we've tackled that, let's move on to the rest of the face. So we are gonna start with some skin prep as we always do. Now I'm gonna be using a really hydrating CC cream on her later. That's amazing, super hydrating. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. So I'm gonna prep her skin with something a little bit lighter so it's not too much hydration, okay? And as I promised, the only thing that is in drugstore is the Peter Thomas Roth product because I couldn't skip this. This really was gonna make such a big impact in the overall look, but everything else is gonna be affordable in drugstore, including the skin prep. So for the skin prep, I'm using the Garnier Skin Active Vitamin C Brightening Serum. I really like this. I tried this earlier this year and I've been finding it to be actually a really nice product. This is a blend of 3.5% niacinamide, vitamin C, and salicylic acid. So this is really nice for brightening dark spots or discoloration on the skin and for giving the skin like an overall glow. The reason that I extra like it is because it has a beautiful lightweight texture that sits beautifully under makeup. I just find that when I put this on my models or I even wear it myself under makeup, it gives a really nice hydrated glow without being too sticky, too tacky, too oily, too much. Now, my next step was to do something that I've never done before in my mature makeup tutorial. So I really wanted to show you guys something different, and that is underpainting. I'm sure you've heard of it before. I'll do some more detailed tutorials on it if you like, but I wanted to show it here today. So I wanted to add a natural warmth to the face, and I wanted to do it in a way that was easy and didn't look stripy and wasn't too hard to blend, okay? And a great technique for that is underpainting. So you're going to add your shadows under your base products. You're going to warm up the face under your base products, and then your base products are gonna work on top of the warmth, on top of the contour, to seamlessly blend everything out and make it look like it's coming from within. It's a very cool technique. So the product I used to do that with is the Halo Glow by e.l.f. And I applied that on the forehead, on the cheekbone, on the jawline, and on the nose, and then I blended it out using a damp beauty blender and a stippling motion. Whenever you're blending out a contour or even blending out a bronzer, you wanna pat and pat and pat that product into the skin to basically melt and push it into the skin. You don't wanna smear it, you want to stipple, and that's going to build it up and blend it out, but in a way that keeps it in a very controlled area. As you can see here, the face already looks so much more dimensional just by doing that. After adding that first layer, I took a look at her and I decided to add a little bit more under this jawline. And that's to camouflage any softness here, any softening of the jawline area. This is a huge concern amongst you guys. I get this comment all the time. How do I camouflage my jawline, the neck? I know that's like an area where a lot of women feel very self-conscious, so you can do that easily with contour. Make sure that when you're doing that, you are using a cooler based contour and not a bronzer, because bronzer is a natural sunshine effect, right? Sun never hits under the jawline, shadows are under the jawline. So you need something cool, because cool mimics shadows, whereas bronzer is warm. As you can see here, we really put that area into the shadows with that contour, and now it looks a little bit stronger. All right, let's move on to our foundation. So I didn't want to use a heavy foundation today because I really wanted this to be quick and simple everyday look. So I reached for a CC cream instead, and the CC cream I use is by Marcel, and it's the first time I've ever used it, and I actually really like it. I like it so much that I actually bought it for myself after. So this CC cream has an SPF of 35, and it's a really nice sheer coverage. It really lightly evens out skin tone. It's really easy to wear if you're not a makeup person, and it provides a luminous finish. So it's got that beautiful, glowy, healthy finish with a more sheer level of coverage. As you can see here, I applied the tiniest amount of product into the center of the face, and then I blended it out into that contour. Let's move on to eyes. Now, to prime the lids and even out any discoloration on the lids, we always have to go in with like an eyelid primer or a concealer. Today, I decided to use this. This is actually a really great product that I just discovered. Look how many colors I ended up buying. This is the NYX Pro Fix Stick. This is a correcting concealer stick. I love concealer sticks. I find this really creamy, easy to use. It's great for evening out eyelid, great for evening out pigmentation issues. They even have a color corrector here. I'm about to do a video on that, so stay tuned. But yeah, overall, it's a really great product. But if you do put it on your eyelids, always remember to set your lids with powder, because eyelids have a tendency to crease in the crease. And that's because there's a lot of movement and there's oil production there as well. So I also went over that with a powder, and the one that I used was the Rimmel Kind and Free powder, but you can pretty much use any translucent powder just to set that before moving on to something else. Now, what I did here for her eyes is I warmed up her crease with this, the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Bronzer. If you wanna do a really quick eye, you wanna run out the door, something fresh for daytime, always grab your bronzer, okay? Bronzers are so beautiful. They look great on the face for warming up the complexion, but they also do a great job of contouring out the crease. This is what I use on my eyes pretty much every day. That's what I have on my eyes today. This is just a bronzer. Just make sure to grab a really fluffy crease brush, put it into your bronzer and buff that into the crease using windshield wiper motions and really blend that out. You're gonna give yourself a really beautiful definition and separation instantly. Now, my next step was to brighten the lid, and I actually did that with this product. So this is the CoverGirl Clean Eye Color. It's a cream shadow, and the color that I use is 303 Sunrise Beam. I just applied that all over the eyelid and then blended it out using a flat shadow brush. Now, one thing that you can do to give your eyes some definition, make your eyes actually look more awake, more open, brighter, all of the things, is to define your lash line. Okay, so today I went in with the NYX Vivid Rich. It's in the color Smoke and Topaz, which is actually a really beautiful brown. And again, I just put that on the upper lid and I blended it out with an angled brush, a smudge brush, a pencil brush, whatever you have that's really small and compact will do. I always see women putting their liners on their lid and not blending it out. And I don't suggest that you do this because waxy liners, they go on a little bit harsh. Just blend that liner into the lash line and you're going to create a smoky effect that's much softer on the eyes and looks a lot more flattering overall. When I was done applying it to the top of the lid, I stepped back and realized that she needed some on the lower lash line to open her eyes. This is kind of an individual thing. Some people look really good with a little shading under the eyes. Some people look better with it just on top. So do whatever suits you the most and what you feel most comfortable with. But I just decided to shade under her lashes with the remnants of what was left over on the brush from the top. Moving on to brows. So as you can see, she has a brow tattoo done that's actually very well done. It's a lovely brow tattoo, beautiful shape, not too thick, not too thin, in a nice position. So all I wanted to do was go over it to warm it up a little bit. So brow tattoos over time have a tendency to get very, very cool toned. That's just what tattoos do, right? So if you initially got a brown brow tattoo, over time it's gonna start looking gray. And that's okay because you still have your template that you can work on top of. So as you can see, I just went over them with a soft brown brow pencil, following the existing shape that she already has. And it just added a little bit of softness, a little bit of warmth back into her face. All right, let's move on to blush. Cream blushes, liquid blushes are beautiful. My goodness, they give the face so much vibrancy, so much life. They lift the face up in such a beautiful way. So I use this. Okay, this is again new. This is new at the drugstore. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Le Liquid Blush. I heard great things about this. This product has some great reviews, so I picked this one up for her because I thought this color would be beautiful on her fair skin. When you are using a liquid blush, and I've done whole videos on blushes that I hope you guys have watched because those videos tend to be very helpful for you guys. I know you tell me in your comments. If you missed that one, go back and watch it later. But if you are working with something like this, with a doe foot applicator or even like a Stampy applicator, it's very tempting to go right on the cheek and blend it out. And that's how everyone on social media shows to do it. But as a makeup artist, I'm telling you, if you want a perfect application that looks flawless, what you actually want to do is put this blush on the back of your hand, swirl your blush brush on the back of your hand to evenly distribute the pigment across the bristles, and then buff that onto the cheekbone, okay? It's going to go on much easier. You're not going to get it to look blobby. You're not gonna have too much and then not know how to tone it down. It's just a much better application method. Something else I want to tell you about the blush is that the Peter Thomas Roth product is all around the eye, including out here on the crow's feet area. So you don't want to disrupt the Peter Thomas Roth product, right? Because it's not a product that does super well when you are putting stuff on top of it because it's almost like a sealant. So when you are working in this area around the eyes, make sure to be very gentle with your application. I wouldn't do any dragging motions. As you can see, when I'm putting her blush on, I am stippling it on by patting. Okay, I am patting it with my fingertips. I am patting it with my brush. And then I even go in and pat it with a damp beauty blender. And that just helps me blend everything out without disrupting the film up here. For lips, I wanted to give her a pop of color, a beautiful bright pop of color. So I use this. This is also by Marcel. It's a lip definition pencil, and this is actually in the color Pink Garden, which is such a beautiful, bright, gorgeous pink. And then I top that off with a L'Oreal lipstick. This one is in 251 Wisteria Rose. And my God, did this not bring the whole entire thing together? Ladies, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of lipstick. Lipstick is life-changing on mature faces. It really brings color and vibrancy and youthfulness. The number one thing that you can do to look really gorgeous is to add color to the lips and cheeks. I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world. It's almost the most impactful of all of the steps. Okay, now here is a bonus tip that I'm dying to share with you because I think you're gonna love it. If you notice that you have creases on your face that you don't like, okay, for me, that's my nasolabial folds. I have It's hard to see right now because I have so much makeup on. I have a lot of highlight and contour techniques, but without makeup on, I have really deep shadows in my nasolabial folds. It's a part of my anatomy, okay? If you notice a shadow, you can actually do something with a highlight, and that's just taking your concealer, so the concealer that you used, pop it into that area that's receding or that's deep, stipple it on and set it, and you'll notice that it instantly pops it forward. It's a very subtle illusion. It's not over the top stripy, people are gonna call you out on it, but it's enough that it will significantly soften that line if that line is one that really bothers you. Finally, as my last step, I wanted to keep this on the skin as long as humanly possible. We used very little product in very strategic places, very light-handedly, right? But I still wanted it to stay on for as long as possible. So she looks fresh like this for 8, 10, 12 hours, right? And I also wanted to see if I could extend the wear time of the Peter Thomas Roth product. So I went in with a fixing spray. Now this is a brand new fixing spray by L'Oreal. It's really good. I've been using it on myself a lot. I'm finding this a really nice, affordable version of like the One Size by Patrick Starr. So I just put that all over the face, let it dry down, and then she was on her way. This is how my model looks with no makeup on. This is how she looks with just the Peter Thomas Roth product on. And this is how she looks with a quick 10 to 15 minute daytime application. I think she felt really beautiful here, but I also think that she felt like herself. And it's really important when we are playing with makeup and when we're doing these daytime looks that we create things that are realistic, that are things that you guys can do from home, you can do easily without being a makeup artist, and that when you go to the grocery store, when you go visit a friend, when you go for lunch, you don't feel uncomfortable in the makeup. The makeup makes you feel beautiful, but it doesn't steal the attention away from you. And I really do think that we achieved that today. Now, if you're interested in the setting spray portion of this video, I just did an entire video on setting sprays. What is setting spray? What is fixing spray? Are they different? Do you need both? How do they work together? All of the things. So if you are interested in this video, then you might want to check out that video next because this one's over.